There are more than 100,000 people stuck on the border between people who have been returned and people who are waiting for appointments or waiting to cross into the United States. It isn't even like what we call a third safe country agreement, which is where there's some financial compensation for the fact that basically you're receiving asylum seekers to another country. These people want to go to the United States. Some of them are waiting to go through the legal pathways to the United States, and yet Mexico is forced to receive them. There isn't financial compensation for this. There's not the infrastructure on the border to be able to take care of these people. And Mexico has also been forced to take on this punitive contention model of dealing with migratory flows, primarily from Central America, but now, as you mentioned, we're seeing many other countries as well, which means that there's been the deployment of armed forces and police forces throughout the country to cut off the migratory flows. What happens then with both countries taking this approach is that there's the denial of asylum rights. International asylum law says that anyone can enter into a country when they're unsafe and make the case about why they can't go back to their country and why they need to seek safety in this country. And it says nothing about this being a port of entry. So that was one of the bases for them striking down the application of Title VIII, because it says that anybody who crosses into a port of entry, outside of a port of entry, whether they have an asylum case or not, will not even be heard. So what the Biden administration has done is to increase expedited deportations and deny asylum rights to a large number of people. And Mexico has been helping with this policy. And the end result is that the migrants who are accumulating on the border, who are fleeing countries where they really are in unsafe conditions, are in very unsafe conditions. They're prey to organized crime in the border areas. There isn't housing. There aren't jobs, because they haven't been given papers or a legal status in Mexico for the most part. And meanwhile, on the whole trip through Mexico, they're prey to corrupt immigration officials and to organized crime and to being captured and rapidly deported back to their home countries.